Hi, you click on this video because of this thumbnail? This mystifying creature has got your attention, huh? Well then, I'd like you to feast your eyes on. We're gonna call him Jack. Now Jack is the reality of the image right here. You didn't really think something like this would exist in a reality like ours. Jack, by the way, is an axolotl. Some of you may know what an axolotl is, and some of you may not. But regardless of who does and who doesn't, this video is going to be all about them. So you now know what Jack is. But what exactly is an axolotl? Well, an axolotl is a type of salamander. And if you've ever seen a salamander before, you'd be like, Franklin, wait up. They look nothing alike. And you're right, they don't. Well, at least at a point in their lives. More on that later. Here's one thing. They are both amphibians, yes. An amphibian is a creature who can or has survived both on land and on water. But there is a catch. An adult salamander spends pretty much all its life on land and can only survive 30 minutes in water. Why? Well, the reason is simple. Salamanders have very developed lungs designed to breathe oxygen, pretty much like every other land animal. But it has no gills, hence it cannot survive as long in water. An axolotl, on the other hand, has great functioning gills to live in water, but its lungs are underdeveloped. That is why it can only spend about an hour on land. A salamander lives on land, and axolotl lives in water. Let's take a look at Jack again. This time with his cousin. We're gonna call him Tommy. Jack and Tommy look nothing alike, but they are both salamanders. Why so many differences? They were both born and hatched looking pretty much the same. Well, what happened here is Tommy, a biphasic salamander, went through metamorphosis, a process whereby a creature loses most of its baby features and ends up looking entirely different as an adult. And this changes forced him to move to land, as he cannot survive on the water anymore. We know why, because he got lungs, which are not designed for his initial habitat. Jack never ended up looking like Tommy. He looked pretty much the same as he did when he first hatched, except, well, yeah, he grew legs and got bigger. Jack could never be like Tommy, the typical depiction of a salamander, due to a phenomenon called neoteny. And that left him looking like a kid version of himself, but larger. Jack is a neotenic salamander, but because of a specific reason, Jack is rather called an axolotl. What is this reason? A little bit of history. The name axolotl originates from the language Nahuatl, which was spoken by the Aztecs. These were a group of people who had an empire in what is now known as Central Mexico. Regardless, they did leave a lot of history behind, like the common name of the axolotl. The Aztecs believed that a shape-shifting god named Axolotl was supposed to be sacrificed alongside some other gods, but he, chickened out. Trying to escape, he transformed into various things to hide, and eventually he took the form of a salamander, then hid in a lake, becoming the first ever axolotl. Some versions have it that he was cursed to be in that form forever, and some others say he was eventually tracked down and sacrificed later, but all this with enough time to create offspring. Keep in mind that this is all mythological, but it does give meaning to the name. Scientifically though, the axolotl is known as Ambystoma mexicanum, but unless you're in a science meeting or trying to show off to your friends, axolotl would do just fine. Axolotls on an average scale are about 6 to 10 inches in length, but some have been recorded to be even bigger than that. They can live more than 10 years in great conditions, and yes, you can have one as a pet. Just make sure you're prepared, because these, as most pets, are a long-term investment. Axolotls come in different variety of morphs and colorations. In the wild, they can be found in Lake Xochimilco and the Lake Chalco of Mexico, where the Aztecs formerly dwelled in, at aquariums, and also at pet stores.
So what? An axolotl is just another creature that's not a fish that lives in water.
I mean, yeah, but there's more. My buddy Jack has superpowers. Beat that. Axolotls are known for their regenerative abilities, probably the best in the world. I'm not talking about no Deadpool Wolverine, I'm talking about a 7-inch, very chalon gillhead who don't look fresh after a battle, don't matter who it is. Oh, and he light skinned too. Damn well, you know he getting all the underwater lady people. Thanks for sticking around. Jack and I will now bid you farewell.